Pathfinder, Newton's laws of motion, and from Challenge Your Understanding section. Two small identical disks A and B are tied to a nail P on a large horizontal platform with the help of identical inextensible strings, each of length capital L is equal to 25 root 2 centimeters. The nail is fixed at a distance capital L from the center of the platform. Initially, the threads tying the discs A and B are straight and makes angles theta is equal to 45 degrees as shown in the figure. Coefficient of friction between the discs and the platform is mu is equal to 0.40. Acceleration of free fall is small g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Now the platform starts rotating with gradually increasing angular velocity omega about its vertical axis. Find expression to describe angle between the threads PA and PB as a function of angular velocity of the platform and draw an appropriate graph to show this relationship. So this is the given problem. So see here, we have to do this problem carefully. First of all, we have two disks A and B, and they are arranged like this as shown in the figure, and the angle between A and B at a time t is equals to 0 before rotation of the platform is 45 degrees, and you can see the angle made by the string connecting the P and B is 45 degrees with x-axis. And here we are dealing this problem by attaching a frame of reference to the rotating platform, and here I have taken origin at the point where the axis of the rotation is fixed. So you can clearly see the point O is the point about which the entire platform is rotating with angular velocity omega. So I have fixed my origin here, and this is y-axis and this is x-axis, and I am going to deal the entire problem relative to this axis. Okay, so now let us start the free body diagram. First of all, so what they are asking in the problem, so we have to see it carefully. They are asking the expression to describe the angle between the PA and PB as a function of angular velocity of the platform and draw an appropriate graph to show the relationship. So that is the given question. So here you can clearly observe there is an angle theta between PA and PB. So initially this theta value is 45 degrees, but whenever the platform starts rotating with some angular speed omega, and this speed is also not constant speed, and the platform is gradually increasing its angular velocity, in that situation definitely the value of theta will change because the disks will move. Initially the disks are at rest, but whenever the platform starts increasing its velocity, definitely at a particular point both the disks will move and the theta will change, and we are required to compute the value of theta in terms of the angular velocity of the platform, and also we have to draw an appropriate graph to show the relationship. So that is the task here. So this is a bit challenging problem, and now we are required to solve this problem. And here I already told you I am going to deal the problem relative to frame attached with the platform rotating with angular velocity omega. So this is the situation. Now here we have to follow one strategy to solve the problem. What is the strategy to solve the problem here? We have to figure out when the disks will move, when the disk A will move and when the disk B will move. So we have to find out that first. So at what angular velocity of the platform the disk A will move, and at what angular velocity of the platform the disk B will move. First of all, we have to find out these angular velocities. So after computing these angular velocities, so then by observing that angular velocities and by taking appropriate limits, so then we can analyze the theta. Then we can analyze how the angle between A and B will changes and all. So first of all, let us find out the angular velocity of the platform at which the disk A will slide, and also the angular velocity of the platform at which the disk B will slide. We have to find out these two angular velocities first. Okay, so now let us start. So here another important point, this disk A and disk B are connected to the thread of length L, and this length L is a thread length, and this point P is the point where the nail is attached, so that the thread length always L, it does not change because the thread is inextensible. So A is constrained to move only on the circular path of radius L, and B is also will do the same thing because it is also having the same situation here. So B can also move only on the circular path of radius L, and there is another motion is not possible for A and B because it is tied up with the thread of length L, and you can clearly see, and the thread is also inextensible. So A can only move on the circular path of radius L, and B also do the same. Okay. So if you want to take about the direction of the friction, because there is a coefficient of friction between the disk and the platform, that is 0.40. So definitely the frictional force will be acting tangential to the circular path of radius L. So we have to observe that point. Now let us see the free body diagram by considering the axis x and y, and the reference frame is x and y, and the point is O, reference point is O, and we are dealing the entire problem according to the frame of reference, relative to the frame of reference attached to the rotating platform. Okay, so we are dealing the problem relative to the frame of reference attached to the rotating platform. Okay, because then the problem becomes a bit easy. And now let us move to the free body diagram of the situation. Now this is the diagram. I have already plotted the diagram, and we have to find the angular velocity of the platform at which the disk A will begin to slide. So now if you see the forces directions also clearly indicated in the diagram, and this is the tension direction. Tension is acting along the thread and it is towards P. And if you see the distance A to O distance, AO distance is root 2L, because this is a right angle triangle. By using Pythagoras theorem, you can easily get the AO value. Okay, and frictional force direction is acting backward direction, because the angular velocity, you can clearly see the entire platform is rotating with angular velocity omega. So the disk will have a motion tendency. So definitely the frictional force will oppose the direction of motion. Okay, so and clearly the frictional force direction here shown, it is acting tangential to the circular path of radius L, and it is opposing the motion of the disk. Okay, now you can see here there is another force also experienced by the disk A. That force is the centrifugal force, because we are dealing the problem by attaching a frame of reference to the point O. So you can clearly see this is a non-inertial frame. Why? Because the platform is rotating with increasing angular velocity. So that's why you can clearly see here the disk A will experience a force away from the center. So that force is the centrifugal force, and that force expression is given by F is equals to m into square root 2 into L into omega square, where omega is the angular speed of rotation of the platform, and this is the force. So you can clearly see the three forces, and angle between the three forces are represented in this diagram. So this is the diagram that clearly gives you the three forces and the angles between them. Now I am going to apply Lami's theorem for this situation, because here the disk is not moving. The frictional force is balanced by the component of the centrifugal force acting in positive x direction at the point A. You can clearly see that. Okay, now the disk is at rest. Okay, and the vertical component of the centrifugal force is balanced by the tension. So that's why the disk A is in the verge of motion. In this particular angular speed, it is in the state of verge of motion, but it is not moving, it is at rest. So now we can directly apply the Lami's theorem, and you can see F divided by this angle is 90. This is the angle between the friction force and the tension. You can clearly see I have noted that angle 90 in the diagram. F divided by sine 90 is equal to the frictional force divided by sine 90 plus 45. So sine 90 value is 1, and the centrifugal force is already we have computed, that is m into square root 2 L into omega square. So m into square root 2 into L into omega square divided by 1 is equal to the frictional force is mu into n is mg. Sin 90 plus 45 is cos 45, that is 1 by root 2. So now let us simplify this. Let's see what we will get. So m into square root 2 into L into omega square is equal to root 2 into mu into mg. So can be cancelled, root 2 can also be cancelled, and omega we are getting as a square root over mu g divided by L. Okay, so this is the angular speed of rotation of the platform at which the disk A will begin to slide. Okay, the disk A will begin to slide. Until this angular speed, the disk A will be at rest, and the angle between A and B is pi by 4. Okay, so let us say if theta is angle between AP and BP, yet t is equal to 0, the theta value is pi by 4, and if platform starts rotating, then omega will increase. Omega will increases. Okay, omega of the platform will increase. What is omega? Angular velocity of the platform will gradually increases with the time, and at a particular angular velocity, at omega is equal to square root over mu g divided by L, the disk A will be in the state of verge of motion. The disk A will be in the state of verge of motion. That means it will ready to move. So if you see now, the case is what will happen if we take the angular speed in between. So if you see, if 0 less than omega 1, here what is omega 1? Square root over mu g divided by L is the omega 1. So if the omega of the platform lies between 0 and omega 1, then disk A will be at rest, and angle between AP and BP is equal to pi by 4. So this point is very very important, and you can even compute this omega 1 value also. If you put all the values given, that omega mu value is given as 0.40, G value is given as 10, and L value is also given, that is 25 root 2 centimeters. You can convert into meters just by multiplying with 100, and if you compute this value, omega 1 you are getting as square root over 8 root 2 radian per second. Okay, so this is the value of omega 1, angular speed of the rotation of the platform, up to which the disk will be at rest, disk A will be at rest. Okay, now we have to figure out the angular speed of rotation of the platform at which the disk B will begin to slide. We have found the angular speed of rotation of the platform at which the disk A will slide. Now we have to find the angular speed of rotation of the platform at which the disk B will begin to slide. Now let us see that free body diagram. So this is the free body diagram of that case. All of you just see here. So again we are following the same strategy. Here we are taking the direction of the friction and it is acting opposite to the direction of motion tendency of the body, and it is the disc B, and the tension is acting towards the point P, and you can see the centrifugal force experienced by the disc B is clearly represented mx1 omega square. X1 is the distance from O to B, that is x1. So we are required to compute that x1 value also. So by using cosine rule you can easily compute this x1, and x1 square is equals to L square plus L square minus 2L square cos theta naught. So here I am mentioning 45 degrees as theta naught. So there is a reason, I will explain. So now x1 square is equal to, you can take 2L square out and you are getting 1 minus cos theta naught. 1 minus cos theta naught is 2 sine square theta naught divided by 2. You can apply square root and what we are getting is 2L sine theta naught divided by 2. This is the value of x1. The distance between B and O, the disc B and O, the distance is 2L sine theta naught divided by 2. Please memorize this point because now we are using here. Now if you observe the angles between the forces, you can clearly see angle between the frictional force and the tension is 90 degrees, and here I have plotted the diagram that shows the angles, and the angle between the centrifugal force and the tension is taken as alpha plus theta naught. What is this alpha? Alpha is the angle between BO and BP, that is alpha. Why? Because the triangle OBP triangle is an isosceles triangle. You can clearly see this BP and OP are of same length, so the opposite angles are equal. So opposite angles are equal. I am taking that equal angles as alpha and alpha, and you can clearly see that point in the diagram. Okay, and now if you take a line which is parallel to OP, then you will clearly find this angle as theta naught, and this angle is alpha, and the angle between the centrifugal force and the tension is alpha plus theta naught. So that is the way in which we are getting the angles. Again we can directly apply the Lami's theorem. It is whatever the angles that we require to solve this problem, I have taken only that angles. Okay, so now let us enter into the Lami's theorem application here, because we require to find out the angular speed of rotation of the platform at which the disc B will begin to slide. Okay, so now we have to apply the Lami's theorem directly. mx1 omega square divided by sine 90 is equal to frictional force divided by sine alpha plus theta naught. Okay, and the value of sine 90 is 1. We already know that. We can directly put the value here. mx1 omega square by 1. Frictional force is mu into n. N is mg. So you can directly write sine alpha plus theta naught here. But if you observe, we can write one point from the triangle OBP. OBP is an isosceles triangle, and you can see sum of all angles is 180. Okay, sum of all angles is 180. Just I am mentioning that point. So we can write triangle OBP 2 alpha plus theta naught is equal to 180, and alpha plus theta naught is 180 minus alpha. We can put it here because it's directly, you can substitute here, and what we are getting, instead of x1 we can directly write the value also. M into 2L into sine theta naught divided by 2 into omega square divided by 1 is equal to mu mg divided by sine alpha plus theta naught. Instead of alpha plus theta naught, if you put the value of 180 minus alpha, again we are getting sine alpha only, because sine 180 minus alpha is sine alpha only. Okay, so directly I am writing that and here you can clearly see this get cancel. Okay, and instead of this theta naught divided by 2, what we can write? So we have to modify this alpha also, otherwise there is a problem with this alpha, because we want to convert all the terms into theta naught. That is the problem. Okay, now see here, we already know one point. I'll mention here. You can clearly see this. 2 alpha plus theta naught is equal to 180, and 2 alpha is equal to 180 minus theta naught. Alpha is equal to 90 minus theta naught divided by 2. Okay, apply sine both sides. So you can write sine alpha is equal to sine 90 minus theta naught divided by 2. Sine alpha is equal to sine 90 minus theta naught by 2 is cos theta naught divided by 2. So instead of sine, you can put the cos and you can compute the value of omega. So here cancelled, 2l into sine theta naught divided by 2, and I can send this sine alpha. Instead of sine alpha, I can write cos theta by 2. So cos theta naught divided by 2 into omega square is equal to mu z. Okay, if you observe carefully here, we can get the value of omega. What is the value of omega? Omega square is equal to mu z divided by, so 2 into sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. This is the sine theta formula. So it will becomes L sine theta naught, and omega value will be square root over mu z divided by L sine theta naught. So this is the angular velocity at which the disk B will begin to slide. Now we have to observe these angular velocities. We have to compare these angular velocities. Which angular velocity is more? I don't know which angular velocity is more here, and we have to compute the value, and let us compute the value. Let us compute the value of angular velocity 2. Okay, so we can directly, we have already computed the angular velocity 1 here. So you can see this angular velocity 1. Whatever the value of angular velocity 1 we are getting, that is square root over 8 into square root 2. This is the value, and this value of angular velocity is approximately 3.36 radian per second. This value is the angular velocity 1. So now we have to compute the angular velocity 2. So see this, and let us compute this angular velocity. So I will compute it here. So this angular velocity is the square root over mu means 0.04, g value is given as 10, and this L value is given as 25 root 2, and we have to change from centimeters to meters to sine 45. So you have to simplify this value, and the value of angular velocity 2 we are getting approximately as 4 radian per second. If you simplify, you are getting the angular velocity 2 as 4 radian per second. And angular velocity 1 we are getting as 3.36. Clearly you can notice this angular velocity 2 is greater than angular velocity 1. Okay, angular velocity 2 is greater than the angular velocity 1. That means the disk A will slide first. The disk A will slide first. Next, the disk B will slide. So we have to analyze the case carefully here. Here we have already noted, if at the initial moment, at the time t is equal to 0, the angle between the both strings is pi by 4. But with the time, the angular velocity will gradually increase, and first of all, the angular velocity will reach 3.36 radian per second. At that instant, the disk A will start sliding. Okay, the disk A will start sliding. So after that, after few minutes, again the angular velocity will reach to 4 radian per second, and then the disk B will start sliding. So now you can clearly observe the scenario here. So now I will explain what will happen here. See this. If you take the angle theta, so what is theta? Theta is the angle between the strings. So I have already told you what is this theta. Theta is the angle between the strings. You can clearly notice that point also here in the diagram. So this is the theta. So theta is the angle between AP and BP. Okay. Theta is the angle between AP and BP. And this theta value, the theta value is the theta value is pi by 4. The theta value is pi by 4 when 0 less than omega 1. Omega 1. What is omega 1? 3.36 radian per second. So when the angular velocity of the platform gradually increases from 0, and if its value lies between 0 and omega 1, then the angle between the AP and BP is pi by 4, because in this situation both disks are at rest. Both disks are at rest. Okay, that's why the angle between AP and BP is pi by 4. But what will happen if the omega becomes greater than omega 1? What is the situation? So suppose if the angular velocity exceeding this omega 1, and if it is less than omega 2, then what will happen? So definitely this theta will change. It is not pi by 4. It is definitely more than pi by 4. And here what we will get? So we have to figure out that. Okay. Here what we will get? We have to figure out this situation. So we don't know what we will get here. So now we have to figure out that and see what will happen here. Now I have a third diagram for that case. Just see, all of you, this third diagram. So this is the case where we are taking the third diagram, because we will get this diagram when angular speed of rotation of platform will be greater than omega 1 and less than omega 2. Okay, when the angular velocity of rotation of platform lies between these limits, the disk A will begin to slide. Slowly it will slide from this point. Actually this is the previous position of the disk A, but slowly the disk A will slide like this and comes to an intermediate position somewhere here. So this is the diagram which is plotted at an intermediate position. Okay, and you can clearly see whenever the disk is sliding in clockwise direction, so frictional force is opposing the motion, but the component of centrifugal force is still acting in tangential direction and pulling the disk in forward direction. And here the frictional force and the tangential component of the centrifugal force are balanced. We have to notice that point. So this is the direction in which the centrifugal force is acting. So that centrifugal force is F is equal to, we don't know about this length, and let it be x2. So F is equal to m x2 into omega square. Okay, and the component of the centrifugal force is acting in this direction, and it is balanced with the frictional force. I did not show you that component, but still the component of the centrifugal force is there in this direction. Okay, that is the sign component, and it is balanced with the frictional force. But I am using the Lami's theorem because I am feeling very comfortable with this Lami's theorem. We can easily get the answer. So now let us see how to get the angular velocity omega. So here F is m x2 omega square. You already know that. So this is the direction of the tension. Tension is directed towards the point P. So P is the point where the nail is fixed, and this is the tension direction. T is the tension direction. Okay, and see the angle between the centrifugal force and the tension. So that angle is 180 minus beta. That angle is 180 minus beta. You can clearly see that angle also. and because here again we are getting an isosceles triangle. OPA is an isosceles triangle because OP and PA are equal and they are of same length, so the opposite angles also equal. Okay, so there is directly we are getting, if this angle is beta, automatically this angle is also beta, and angle between the centrifugal force and the tension is 180 minus beta. Okay, and you can see this is 90, so we have know that this is 90, this angle is 90, so that's why I have directly written here. So you know that this angle is 90, and you can directly write 90 plus beta here. The angle between the frictional force and the centrifugal force is 90 plus beta. Okay, so after getting angles, then direct application, no issue. But here we need to find out this x2. We don't know still what is the value of x2, and there is some angle here and we have to find this. Let it be phi. Phi is the angle made by the disk with the vertical AP. Now see here, again we are using the cosine rule for finding this x2. So just see, I will write the value, cosine rule. So you already know the cosine rule. X2 square is equal to L square plus L square minus 2L square. So cos of this entire angle. So this is 90 plus theta. 90 plus, it is not theta, it is phi. 90 plus phi. And x2 square is equal to 2L square into 1 minus cos 90 plus phi. Okay, and see here we have triangle. Sum of all angles in a triangle is 180. You can directly write 2 beta plus 90 plus phi is equal to 180, and you can write 2 beta plus phi is equal to 90, and you can write here this is 90 plus phi is there, 90 plus phi. So what is the value of pi? Phi is 90 minus 2 beta. Okay, so 90 minus 2 beta, you can directly plug the value of phi here. X2 square is equal to 2L square 1 minus cos 180 minus 2 beta. Okay, so cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. It's minus cos theta. X2 square is equal to 2L square into, so 1 plus cos 2 beta. So this is the thing that we are getting, 1 plus cos 2 beta. So what is the value here? What is the value of 1 plus cos 2 beta? So you can write, replace, because we are already having the formula. X2 square is equal to 2L square into 1 plus cos 2 beta. It is 2 cos squared beta, and the value of x2 we are getting as 2L cos beta. 2L cos beta is the value of x2. Okay, 2L cos beta is the value of x2. We got it, and we can directly apply Lami's theorem now. No issue. Here we can apply. So you can just apply here. What we can write? F divided by sine 90, because this opposite angle is 90. Frictional force divided by sine 180 minus beta. So just see what we will get if you simplify. We have to remember this value. Okay, please remember that x2 value, and f already there. We can write that value, m x2 omega square divided by sine 90 is 1. Frictional force is mu into n, so mu into mg, and sine 180 minus beta, that is sine beta only. Sine 180 minus beta, sine beta, and the x2 value, we can directly put the x2 value, m into 2L cos beta into omega square is equal to mu mg divided by sine beta. Okay, so what is this value we are getting? Omega value we want. Okay, so now see here. So we can take this sine beta here, can be cancelled. So we are getting L sine 2 beta into omega square is equal to mu g. So what is this sine 2 beta now? Sine 2 beta can be written as mu g divided by L into omega square. Sine 2 beta is equal to mu g divided by L into omega square. But what is 2 beta? What is 2 beta? 2 beta can be written as 90 minus pi. You can clearly see here 2 beta can be written as 90 minus pi. From this point, what we can write? 2 beta can be written as 90 minus pi. Okay, so I am using that point here. So sine 90 minus pi is equal to mu g divided by L into omega square. Sine 90 minus pi is cos pi. Mu g divided by L into omega square. So this pi value we are getting as a cos inverse mu g divided by L into omega square. So this is the value of phi. Okay, so that means whenever the angular speed lies between omega 1 and omega 2, so then the angle made by the disk A with the vertical phi, that angle phi is given by this value. Phi is, can clearly see the value of phi, cos inverse mu g divided by L into omega square. That is the value of phi. Okay, so now you can clearly give the detailed analysis of the angle between the disks. Okay, because we already did that analysis here. We don't know here we don't know what is this question mark, but now we have answer for that question mark. Now let us see again, we can do that small analysis here. So now see, so what is the value of theta here? You can clearly see the value of theta. What is theta? Theta is the angle between AP and BP. So threads AP and BP. So this theta value is pi by 4 when 0 less than omega less than omega 1. So when angular speed of rotation becomes greater than this omega 1, then automatically the disk A will start sliding. The disk A will start sliding. Okay, so now this is the way in which the theta will change in that case. So theta will becomes pi by 4 plus cos inverse mu g divided by L omega square. Okay, so this is the angle because omega lies between omega 1 and omega 2. Now what will happen if omega is greater than omega 2? What will happen if omega is greater than omega 2? We don't know. What will happen if omega is greater than omega 2? What will happen? What is the angle between the disks? Now we are required to find out this question mark. So now let us see here. So again we have a small analysis for that case. So this is the angular speed omega at a particular instant of time. So now let us put the value of omega 2 in the place of omega. We are already having the omega 2 value, that is 4 radian per second. Let us put the value of omega 2 here, and mu g divided by L, and we have to put the value of mu, we have to put the value of g and L. Let us compute and what we will get, let us see. So phi is equal to cos inverse, mu value is given as 0.40, 0.40 is given. Just wait, yeah, 0.40 into g value 10 into 100 divided by 25 into root 2. So this is omega square, that is 16. because we are keeping the value of omega 2 as 4 radian per second. Let us see what will happen. That means pi value is cos inverse. So this is 40 by 100, 100 will get cancelled. So 40 into 10 divided by, so 25 into root 2 into 16. 16 means 4 into 4. So we are getting cancellation here. 100 will get cancelled and 4 will also get cancelled. And we are getting phi value as cos inverse 1 by root 2. That is pi by 4. So here what is the result that we got? The result that we got is very important result. When the angular speed of rotation of the platform gradually increases, and if it reaches the omega 2, then at that instant disk A will makes 90 degrees angle with the disk B. Disk A will makes an angle 90 degrees. The thread of the disk A will makes an angle 90 degrees with the thread connecting the disk B and the nail. Okay, so this is the situation. At that instant we can clearly expect the situation will be like this. Both are at exactly perpendicular to each other, 90 degrees situation. Okay, this is the situation. This is the vertical and the angle becomes 90 degrees, perfectly 90 degrees. This is the disk A and this is the disk B. Okay, so this is the situation. Now students, and you can clearly observe the point here. When omega becomes greater than omega 2, immediately at that instant the disk B will start slipping, and the disk B will immediately comes to the disk A. Okay, the disk A will disk A will move like this, and disk B will approach the disk A, and finally the angle between A and B will becomes 0. In that case the angle becomes 0. So we have to mention that case also. See here, when omega is equal to omega 2, at that situation the angle becomes perfectly 90 degrees. If you move to the next case, that means if omega is greater than this omega 2, immediately the angle will drops to 0. Immediately the angle between the disk A and disk B will drops to 0. Why? Because the disk A will comes to this position. Again, at the same case the disk B will also comes to the same position. So finally what will happen? The theta will becomes 0. So this is the situation when omega is greater than omega 2. So this is how the angle between A B will changes. Okay, so finally we have to plot the graph also. Just I will show you the graph of the angles. Just see. So here I am already having one equation. Based on this equation we can plot the graph. So this is the graph. And see how the angles between the disks will change. Here we are getting. So ignore this y and x values. First of all, at initial stage the angle between the disks is pi by 4, but gradually it becomes pi by 2. Okay, it becomes pi by 2, gradually increases and it becomes pi by 2, and suddenly it will drops to 0. It becomes like this. So here we have to observe the graph also. So now I will plot the exact graph for the situation. So here you can see, according to the given data, the graph will be like this. Whatever the given data that we are getting, theta value is pi by 4, when 0 less than omega 1, and it is pi by 4 plus cos inverse mu z divided by omega square into L. So this is the value when this is valid, when omega 1 less than omega 2. So when omega is greater than omega 2, that situation the angle becomes 0. Here we are going to show you that case. The angle, initially this angle is pi by 4. Okay, angle will increase like this, and it will reach to pi by 4. This is the theta. So omega will gradually increase like this. So this is the value of, sorry, this is pi by 2. This is the value of omega 1. Omega 1. Okay. Suddenly if it lies between, this is the value of omega 1. Sorry, I am plotting a graph. Just wait, I will change the graph. I did something small mistake here. Again let us plot the graph. So we are going to take this case first, 0 to omega 1. So this is pi by 4. Graph is constant from 0 to omega 1, and when it reaches omega 1, the disk EA will begins to slide. The angle will gradually increase and it will reach pi by 2. Okay, and see here, this is the situation when omega 2 is reached. But when omega becomes greater than omega 2, automatically this angle will drops to 0 and it becomes 0 forever. Both A and B will move together. So this is how the graph we are getting. This is the perfect graph for the given situation. Okay, students. So according to this data, we are getting this kind of graph. So this is the solution for the problem of the given question. So this is the final answer for the problem. This is the final answer for the given Pathfinder challenge your understanding question. Okay. Whatever the graph that we are getting, it is exact representation of the angle between the disks. So this is the final answer. This is a very big and tedious problem. Okay, students, bye.